Okay, before this continues, like, I think my hypothesis on like these visual novels in this game, where there's no like writing that you have to like read by, you know, continuing by pressing the action button. These ones where you just look at what happens. These novels are just backstories of the moments we just played. It would make the most sense. Because this moment, for example, is talking about this Goliath, for sure. And only this Goliath. So, earlier in the game, when like we fought Adam and Eve on this 9S playthrough, and we get this visual like novel, this audiovisual piece basically, where we have this main character, the child, that had to kill their father and mother, and then like, you know, have to live with that like crippling like guilt basically from doing that. Like, that has to have something to do with Adam or Eve, for sure. But as to what exactly, I can't decipher. It's too like confusing to try to understand. Not enough like what is it now? Not enough context to be able to understand what that actually means. But this one is pretty simple to understand.
The child held sway over enormous strength. But sadly, he was also a little bit broken. He spent his long days hurting those around him. He tried his best to be good and kind. But despite his efforts, things never seemed to turn out.
This might be talking about the same child that killed their mother and father, actually. Not about that Goliath. Or what if all of these novels are talking about that Goliath? Because all of the novels, what they say in them, could be fitted into that Goliath. In a way. Like, the god comes from like a volcano eruption and gives like meaning as well as like these very like human like emotions and feelings and like senses of identity to the machines. Like, that could be possibly from like the machine. Like the disconnections from the machine network started happening only like somewhat recently. And how recently did that Goliath, the like Dark Colossus Goliath that we just fought, like, when did that exactly come into play? Like, it could fit in the same timeline. And then maybe the, like, its core being or like its essence was possibly constructed from like some child's memories, perhaps, that was traumatized from having to kill their mother and father or something.
They told him he was unwanted. They abandoned him in the deep, dark ocean.
Or it just could be unrelated.
At the bottom of the sea, he cried out, "Mother, mother, mother, mother."
Yeah, it could be unrelated.
But his voice never reached his mother.
Like, why would the Dark Colossi like call for their mother if it would be like connected to that other child who killed their mother and father? Like, kind of doesn't make sense.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 042, assigned to 2B.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 153, assigned to 9S.
We pods often participate in the same battles. Exchanging our situational data would theoretically allow us to plan combat strategies in a more efficient manner.
Changing our situational data or situational data. I'm gonna be back in a moment. Whatever, it wasn't anything too important. Fuck's sake, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, so here I thought there might also be an ending, but like there's no timer, there doesn't seem to be any urgency exactly, so there's probably no ending possibility here either. But I think the tactical ports, I think they just... I mean, it wasn't... Fuck's sake, man. I didn't mean to cancel that. Fuck. Like, anything and everything that they say before the C playthrough is like so... It's so difficult to understand that, like, you don't really get much out of it anyway, so... Like, I didn't miss much there, but... Oh well. What if I just don't interact with these? Do I lose them? Can I not continue, maybe, in the area? If I don't interact? Wait, what if I just... Hold up. What happens if I interact with only the last one that you end up in? Do I wanna know? I don't wanna have the accidental possibility of skipping. How would the devs do this? What if I just go to the last one here, and it just skips to the very last dialogue with Adam on this one? I think it was this one. And then we basically just get sent away. Wait, this runs a circle? No, wait, this is the last one. Well, fuck me. I kinda wanna try it, but kind of not at the same time, in case I do, like, fuck it up. But the devs probably thought of this, like, surely, right? Whatever. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think... Okay. So this does seem to work the way I was hoping it does. So it's not the order of which you activate these on. It's just you have to activate them all, and depending, you know, which or how many you have activated before, different dialogue you get, thankfully. Yeah, I was hoping it works like this because it, you know, I would expect it would work like this, but you never know. Self-doubt, self-awareness, anxiety, well, let's work our way from the last one to the newest one, or the first one then, because I already activated the second last one. Such as data on human history and philosophy. Mm-hmm. In the politics category are records of machines on governmental endeavors. They've tried all sorts of things: absolute monarchies, republics, democracies. They are also engaged in other scholarly pursuits such as philosophy, mathematics, science, and social criticism. I can find no indication of the machines creating new cultures or values. They only imitate human behavior. The definition of insanity: trying the same exact thing over and over again, accepting it to work. So what's at play here? But yeah, this is imitating human behavior, not learning from human behavior. You know what, actually? I wonder what Adam is doing more. Is Adam trying to more so imitate human behavior, or is Adam trying to research human behavior? I haven't asked that question actually yet. I should have thought of that earlier. Because everything he talks about and does could be either. Like he talks about his research and insatiable like hunger to know how humanity works and like all its like cultural and society, what the fuck am I saying? Societal? No, that's not the word. What the fuck? Like all the like norms of the society and the like economics and politics and all that, and the scientifics that coexist with humans' values and teachings, like all of that stuff. Like he's telling us constantly that he's researching that stuff, but is he ever coming up with anything new? I mean, in order to come up with something new first, you have to first learn what was, I suppose. So I guess I can't really say exactly on Adam's case yet if he is trying to study humans and then become greater than humans, possibly, or if he's just trying to imitate humanity and then not elaborating on it more. When it comes to combat, the machines show overwhelming adaptive behavior and evolutionary speed. That actually makes sense, because of having played a full playthrough of this game already. Like, we know that the machine network deployed Yorha in order to gather combat data from the combat unit androids that the scanner units and the operators are working with. So we already know that, or we know as to why this makes sense. Why do they imitate their failures? Another question I have not asked yet. Why do they imitate their failures? Is 9S trying to imply that earlier example of, like, you know, with the dictatorship, for example, where, you know, the machine would just try dictatorship again and again and it would still fail, and it would try to keep imitating their own failure? Or would they try to imitate a concept that they don't know if it's a failure, but they don't learn, so they keep just failing at it because they don't learn? Okay, that was confusing to understand, but I mean, I understood what I was talking about, but somebody listening, maybe not. A machine made in the image of a man. Okay. In this, it is as if a new form of existence has been born. Perhaps. You know how humans, like, consciousness came to being as well? Like, you know, there's the cognitive evolution, and then obviously we have the, like, the neo-political, or I don't know what the word is in English, but like this, like, neo-evolution of, like, you know, when the, like, farming cultures came to also being, like, tens of thousands years ago, or so. Like, humans also, like, learned and gained an identity, and then along with that, like, consciousness as well, when they became smarter. So, and the machines also, like, they had consciousness to begin with, but they didn't build upon it until later. Because, like, this is also implying, like, thus we gained a new consciousness. So Adam is saying that by imitating humanity, learning from them and imitating them to an extent, they have gotten on the same level with the humans roughly, and now they are trying to divert themselves from humanity. So this seems like just as legitimate way of creating consciousness on another being as any else. You androids claim to be alive, how very odd. You are puppets who lack even your own free will. Actually, here is another interesting idea. Does Adam and Eve know about, like, Yorha being, like, Yorha, like, being a, what is it now, fucking, okay, I forgot the word, fuck, yeah, does Adam and Eve know that Yorha is basically an implemented organization made by the machine network? Like, are they that high up and intelligent? And do they have enough of an access to the data files in the machine network where they actually know this information, but they never exactly tell it? Because they don't ever tell this on the C and the not the C, the A and the B playthrough. But this sentiment here is implying like he does know. Yet you androids claim to be alive. How very odd. You are puppets who lack even your own free will. Like, this is so strongly implying that Adam knows, like, what Yorha is. But I can't fully confirm it. Perhaps you have desires. Yeah. Just like the operators and the scanner units, the operators have a desire to, like, research Earth even though they have other obligations and purposes made for them by the higher-ups. But they do have desires, yes. Same as Ninus basically has a desire to be like cared or loved by another person, because that's the one thing that he wants in his life for the time being. Same as 2B mostly as well. The true meaning of life is hatred. Vile hate. Okay, I don't understand this part. True meaning of life is hatred. Is he trying to imply that androids basically hate their purpose or obligation? Maybe he's trying to like form some kind of discourse with the 9S and Yorha possibly? Maybe that's exactly what he's just doing. The more you try to hide it, the more the darkness grows. This is also true. Those... I wish those fucking lines didn't disappear that fucking fast. Barely have enough time to read those. All who live are slaves to desire. Such internal appetites are what gives our life's meaning. Some seek beauty, others serenity. For me, hatred is the... Okay, what is he trying... What kind of speech or citation is this now? Like, is he trying to like... is he like an all-knowing like... book reader or like a book-like teller or... all-knowing book narrator, that's what I meant. All who live are slaves to desire. That's a very human behavior anyway. Like, regardless of how much you have, you always desire that something was different in your life, I guess. Some seek beauty, others serenity. Beauty, we have Simone. One example of this from earlier. Others seek serenity. I mean, we have Father Servo side quest. I mean, the way he was searching serenity was a little bit different. I guess focus of like body, spirit and mind. You know, the holy trinity of, you know, 3 elements. You do not trust anything. Scanner models are skeptical by nature. Your point? Okay, I feel like now he's talking to Yorha, not Ninus. You have lost hope in everything, you want to obtain everything. I mean, this is some kind of compulsive, obsessive disorder with desire or lust. You want to be loved by all. You don't trust anything, you want to destroy everything. You have lost hope in everything. You want to obtain everything. You want to be loved by all. These are different stages here. Also, he is just assuming. Like, most of these don't even, like, align with Nina's. Or even with Yorha. You want to obtain everything? I mean, this one doesn't align with Nina's whatsoever. This aligns with, maybe Yorha, like, you know, wanting to, like, control everything. You have lost hope in everything. I mean, that, not exactly true. He's just trying to provoke him, I guess. You want to destroy everything. This might be the same exact thing too, but, like, I mean, I guess somebody like 9... Actually, no, I can't really say that. Like, I was thinking maybe like a person like 9S whose memories are wiped so often, I feel like he would have more of a motive to hate machines more often, because his memories are always so short. So the fundamental data that he has to work for the good of Yorha, from his perspective, would be so strong that he would want to, like, destroy everything for the greater good of their own cause. But he's always the one who questions about the consciousness of the machines and their independence and whatnot. So, this doesn't really fit for him. This is more like Yorha thing. But this last line, you want to be loved by all. This one hits home for Nines a lot. Like, he definitely does feel like he is, like, left alone. And he doesn't wanna be alone. He wants to be recognized, and he wants to be, like, cared about by someone. Because he doesn't feel like he has personally a meaning in his life compared to what he's simply just told. Oh, right, there was this line here. Okay, you're thinking about how much you want to beep to be, are you? I mean, he's just trying to provoke. He's just trying to provoke Nines at this point with this. Not to mention, Adam has not the slightest idea what this even actually means. Like, he knows the concepts of what this means, where, like, this comes from. But, like, you know, love, care, affection, like, you know, this intimate relationship, he knows where these come from, but it's something he will never be able to feel. So, I mean, hatred born into you. Overflowing desire. Damn, I really like this novel. Wait, did I just skip that dialogue? Wait, what?
Each of the machines treated their treasures with great care. One treasured family above all else.
I'm so glad we get to see this again. I had some hypotheses on who this novel was talking about. One treasured family above all else. Family above all else. This could be 21-0 operator. This could be Eve. This could be possibly... I guess this could also be any of the machine life forms that have formed a family, like in the Pascal village, but I think that would be like... You know, it wouldn't be significant enough. So it would have to be Eve, or possibly 21-0, because 21-0 does have that one side quest where she gets emotional talking about like the society, people living like in the same like societal like customs in a certain place, or like familial units. She does have that quest line. But Eve definitely values Adam as his family more than anything else. That is very apparent for anybody who plays the game. So it could just be that.
Another treasured its older sibling.
Another treasured its older sibling. Wait. No, wait. Could this be Eve? Because Eve is, like, we all know, like, it's very obvious with all the, like, the cutscenes and how Adam and Eve speak and, like, how they behave with each other. It's very obvious that the game wants you to think that Eve is the younger brother. And this literally just said that one treasured their older sibling above all else. So, if this is Eve, then who is the first one that this was just talking about?
Another treasured its own beauty.
That's Simon.
But one more machine treasured something unique above all else. Hate.
So Adam? Adam does talk about pure hate and he... Okay, here's another thing. Adam in this fight, in particular, there's the scene where he reveals Eve, like, on the copied city wall. Like, he wants, like, Tubi to feel what he feels. He wants Tubi to feel the hatred that he feels. But why does he feel that hatred? Another thing we don't get an explanation for. But that could be what this was implying about. Maybe Adam is the one who killed both of their parents. Maybe. And possibly, when Adam did kill both of their parents, I don't know how that would be possible exactly, but like I don't know, theoretically maybe, or like in the machine network, there's like different concepts of consciousness or consciousness of humanity. Maybe he did kill like maybe the databases like his own like parents somehow, and then he felt so like cold and bad about that, trying to live with it, that he created himself a new younger brother in the form of Eve, so that he wouldn't feel like so alone and like so guilty about what he has done. He wants to like rectify it, you know, his actions. So maybe he is talking about himself then, the overflowing hatred, when Adam was trying to imply 9 as about the like desire for overflowing hatred. Maybe he was still trying to influence 9 as to feel the way he does, the same way as he tries to influence 2B to feel the way he does. Because that is something that like is very common in like psychological studies, especially with people who have gone through traumas and want to be understood by other people. Like, it's very common for those people to try to put other people in the same kinds of mindsets as what they have, to be for that person to try to like get a feeling of like compassion from other people, because he now also knows that that is how they also feel, because you have taught them how you feel. Does that make sense? Like that actually is such a like haunting message, but also incredibly powerful one.
Is this death? So dark.
That may have actually been the best novel in the entire game. The amount of stuff I just got from that novel compared to the first playthrough is incredible. That was amazing.
9S!
This game's storytelling has such an unbelievably rich way to tell
To be.
stuff. It is
on.
just...
Let's go home.
It's nothing but just admirable, really. It is so unbelievably beautiful. Am I ever gonna experience something like this in any other game? Like, in literally any other game ever, like, it's either... Actually, I'm gonna stop talking until, like... Can I stop here? Okay. In any other game ever that I have played or seen, it's either... It's usually, like, two very big opposites of each other when it comes to storytelling. It's either the From Software technique, where, like, the gameplay on their games is so good, and the story parts and narration in their games is so vague, and, like, so sparse, that it's so hard to try to even understand what happens most of the time, and why it's happening. So most people just, like me also, when I play From Software games, like, I don't typically, like, you know, play them for, like, their story or whatnot. Like, I hardly even understand it outside of the very rich lore that the game has, because that's something that all the From Software games share, is very rich lore on the background. The premise is always very rich on the From Software games, but the stories itself are actually usually very simple and not so, like, rich and, like, pretty shallow, to be honest, the stories, but the lore behind it is very enriching. And then there's the other opposite perspective, where it's like the, you know, the 2018 God of War and Ragnarok, like, type of games, where the story is, like, so strongly, like, narrated for you that anybody who plays the game can possibly get the same exact amount of emotional value and understanding from the story as any other person who plays the game. So it's, like, very easy to understand for anybody who plays the game, like, what is happening, why it's happening, and usually why those games are considered, like, the AAA, like, story game standard, is because, like, regardless of who the person playing it is, they will get roughly the same amount if they pay attention to what is going on the screen. But in games like this, in games like Nier Automata, like, you can play this game and there's so much dialogue in this game and, like, text in this game that is on face value, like, is pretty vague on their meanings. But if you stop and you think about what they say and how they say something, just like I do in this game, like, you can get so much information out of this game with how the game and what kinds of sentences the game decides to form around, like, these concepts of, like, existence and, like, essence and, like this, like, dichotomy between the machines and the humans and the androids and their, like, own, like, identities, senses of self. Like, this stuff, just, like, on face value, you're not gonna understand most of this stuff. But when you stop, you think and analyze a bit, it is incredibly well written and just so rich in its storytelling. It is just absolutely beautiful.
Proposal.
Surely I can't fail this.
Diagnostics.
Yeah.
A single reply is sufficient for acknowledgement.
Fine.
But this game is really fucking beautiful. This game is really just something else. I might want to rate it actually higher on my ratings, to be honest. Even higher. On my all-time favorite games and single-player, like, first playthrough experiences. I might want to rate it even higher. God damn it. This game's storytelling is just on an absolutely other level to anything else I have ever experienced.
Good.
Proposal. Engage visual sensor diagnostics.
You got it.